Chapter 108, The Establishment of a Living Relationship with the Father. I have already mentioned to you about the path, how to set up a sincere and live relationship with the Father. Now I shall repeat it once more, for it is the most crucial thing in man's life, to establish a living communion with the Father. If 2,000 years ago, when I was among you and as one of you, I had not communed with the Father, I would not have been able to take in from him wisdom, peace, patience, resolution, courage, and most of all, love. And by no means would I have been able to carry out my mission to the very end. It was only this living relationship with the Father that was upholding me as a mortal during my whole life in the human flesh, when I started feeling ever deeper that the Father was that strongest rock on which I could stand in peace, while even finding myself in the very whirlpool of the severest storm. And this very live relationship, provided by the Father, today is within reach for each of you. Do not push it away. Do not ignore it. And do not be afraid of it, but rather use it, since it has been designed by the Father himself for the benefit of all of you. The place in which you might be, what time of day or night it might be, is of no significance, because this bond is always and everywhere accessible to you, each of you. It just opens up to you when you, having forgotten everything in the world, sincerely begin to talk with the Father, even as with the best and most trustworthy friend. You relate your difficulties, pains, and hardships to him. You share your joys and pleasant experiences with him. And you talk with him from the very depths of your heart, since only a soul which is open to him can talk this way. And to make your opening easier, that your mind would calm down prior to it, speak in your own words the following: Father, I have read the teachings of Jesus where he speaks about this possible communion with you. I glorify you as the most marvelous Father, who descends to the very least one that he might commune with you. I desire to associate with you, therefore I want to tell you everything that today worries and gladdens me, what troubles me and causes pain in me, what confuses and misleads me, what helps me and provides joy to me. Father, it is only you who can understand me like no one else, because Jesus explains in his teachings that you are also within my own self. Therefore you can understand me that well as nobody else can get within me. And relate to him everything about yourself, about your life. And this narrative is necessary to you. The Father knows you from within even better than you know yourself. This narration is necessary to you so that by revealing your soul you would calm down your mind, for it is only a peaceful mind that can hear what the Father is saying and what I say. And once you relate about yourself from the very depth of the soul, so that even tears might wet your eyes, do not be ashamed of them. These are the tears of sincerity. These are the tears of a pure soul already capable of presenting its own attitudes. Then wait in silence and peace. Do not worry about anything. If you do not hear the Father's voice, do not get embarrassed. Vibrations of the Father's voice are of a very high frequency, while your soul has not yet had a chance to operate to be able to feel these high frequency vibrations. It has always been suppressed by the low vibrations of your human animal ego that have kept you in captivity all the time of only material thinking. Therefore, your soul might need a considerable period of time for such sincere conversations with the Father and for such still and peaceful sessions of listening to be able to get accustomed to ever more spiritual moments of this sort of soul opening, and at the same time to reach a higher level of the Father's vibrations, so that it would also hear the messages of the Father meant personally for the soul. It is only sincere and steadfast efforts that crown in success, and the soul receives a blissful reward, begins to hear the Father speak to it. It is the moment when the soul in no way will stay passive anymore as it has been. It will start manifesting its growing stronger voice and attitudes in relation to human selfish mind, so that a moment will come when the human mind will give in to a superior and purer thinking of the soul mind, which always leans upon the leading of the Father from within, as well as upon a deeper wisdom reaching the soul also from the Father through His Spirit, the thought adjuster. It is only this relationship, a living relationship with the Father, that shall change the man that much that he shall not be feeling a lack of self-confidence. He shall be feeling the reality of the Father or of mine, depending upon whom he shall commune with, and he shall even begin to spread greater light to his other brethren, since he shall receive such teachings that no one else has ever read and heard of up to then in understandable and simple words. For the son or daughter of the Father shall share not only the very teaching, but also his or her experiences, rather than rendering quotations from the teachings read or heard from others. The sort of sharing of one's experience is much more effective than a dry recounting of other teachings, either read or heard. In sharing one's own experience, one's soul also participates, and it is the soul that has experienced all this that the person is relating to others at that moment. And at certain moments, as the process of sharing this experience proceeds, the soul sends its higher vibrations to the human material mind, so that the person for a moment again experiences these very similar sensations that he has felt, only they were much stronger during the communion with the Father. And a sincere listener, or even several of them, react in a more receptive way to the rendering of this experience in comparison with the presentation of any, even similar information void of one's experience. Thus, experience is valued more than just a theoretical speculation, even though it is a very wise one. Experience provides growth to the one who experiences it, and while sharing it with others, the higher energy vibrations of one's soul are also passed to those who are listening, because the soul itself is sending its direct and higher vibrations rather than just the human consciousness, the vibrations of which are much lower. A life communion with the Father or with me is not only your personal development, but also a spiritual development of the whole of the community. 2,000 years ago, my brethren did not yet enjoy these possibilities. One, because of the Lucifer rebellion, these equal possibilities in particular had been violated. And I had to expand the scale of my mission with one more task: to terminate the Lucifer rebellion in the Satanic system of my universe. And they fully carried it out on the Mount of Hermon, having withstood the temptation of Satan. And by this, the broken equal possibilities of communing with the Father were restored again when I ascended to the Father, and when we sent our spirits. The Father sent thought adjusters within each child of a normal mind, and I poured out my Spirit of truth upon all flesh, and it also enters within once man sincerely asks for it. Now, all of you have marvelous possibilities to make use of the assistance provided by these helpers, even as of the assistance of the Holy Spirit that has never been cut off, even under the conditions of the isolation of the rebellion. And if only you realized how much each of you can contribute to the development of the whole of humanity, to its spiritual buildup. If only you realized how little you make use of the means available to you, then you would well understand why there is such a deplorable situation on your planet, why you up to date have so much suffering and pain in your inner life and even within your physical body that is tormented by different physical diseases. And only one qualitatively enormous step on your part is sufficient: to have faith and set up a living relationship with the Father, and the troubles and pains of humanity shall flow away like clouds in the sky, while man does not even notice who has blown them somewhere far away effortlessly. And once you have faith and a bond with the Father, all tormenting hardships, without making any efforts to overcome these very hardships, will all be carried away. No one knows where. They will not remain. Today you cannot believe it, but I know altogether much more than you can even imagine that such things might be known, because you do not know anything even about the very existence of these things. Therefore, if you lean upon my teaching and make an attempt to use it by applying it in your everyday personal life, you will experience the righteousness of my words yourselves, each of you. However, whether or not you will apply these teachings in your life, the decision lies within you, each of you personally. Even though you gather together into a similar-minded group and make a common decision to make use of these teachings, the decision would all the same be made personally rather than by the group. There is no greater influence, even within the most united group, than the Father's influence within each of you. Therefore, sooner or later, each of you will have to make such a decision. A united group can shorten the path of a personal choice or make it easier. Yet even the most spiritual collective cannot make a personal decision for that member of the collective. A free will can operate provided that it is personal, but not collective. A collective will is when a decision is made by the majority, and the minority has to obey the decision made by the majority. However, in the relationship with the Father, upon the path of one's spiritual growth, everything is determined by a free will decision.